Can you see what's happening? Okay, then they're still working. Thank you so much for this many hours you put into this. So can you just start with our round of applause to yourselves? Thank you. I hope there was enough sugar in between and some treats as well. We tried our best. And that you got a lot of your ideas explored and learned something and were able to create. We're very curious to see what you came up with since yesterday. To start with, I need to say that this was an effort. I could not have done this event without having a co-organizer, which is Dimitri from the Creative Lab and his crew. So thank you so much. If you're ever in Helsingborg and at Mind Park, please visit them. Let them know. They have a really cool space, a maker space there that I'm sure you enjoy playing around with it, since you like to hack. As for myself, I'm here from Mink. So if it's the case that you want to continue working with the project, we have something called Startup Labs, which is the bottom floor at Mink. Is open to anybody who wants to work on their own ideas or create something new for free for 6 months. The only thing you need to do is to register in the reception, and then you'll get like a desk, bad free coffee, but still free coffee, and Wi-Fi, and you have the possibility to hang out with the network of entrepreneurs you have in the house. And then very quickly, but very important, we want to say a big thanks to our sponsors, the people who make this happen. So, of course, Electrokit has been here helping us with the pop-up shop and providing you with the kits and the material. So thank you so much again for being a part of the hackathon.
Don't forget to go to their website and buy some new sensors or whatever you want.
Yeah, if you keep on hacking, I'm sure you're going to buy more stuff from Electrokit. So we really appreciate your help. Thanks again. We had the guys from NOC09. They couldn't be here during the hackathon, but I'm going to tell you just quickly. So if you go to noc09.com, you can visit their website. They are the standard for test equipment in wireless charging, so they make hardware and software, and they're based in Malmo, which I thought was amazing. They're doing almost the whole testing for Xbox in Microsoft.
Yeah.
So,
but it's top secret information.
Okay, don't
so
record it. Scratch that from the. I hope it's not live streamed. Which Microsoft? I didn't know anything about that. But they were awesome. They helped us to make this happen. If you want to check them out, it's noc09.com and pay them a visit here in Malmo. They're just here. And this was also a collaboration with Region Skåne and Vinnova, so we're very thankful for them. And of course, the guys from Arduino who are helping us with material and the Fab Lab. That's it. So
no, and of course Maisa, who is did everything to be to gather us here. So I think you really we need to give a really big applause to Maisa.
I'll kill you later. Yeah. Okay, so we're very curious to see what you created. I think I'll let you take from here so I can take some pictures.
Yeah.
Can I do that?
Yeah.
All right. So just make sure this is on.
And of course, we shouldn't do it like we did yesterday. Talk too much.
No, it's 5 minutes per team.
Now it's 5 minutes per team, and we start with team number 1. I don't know if you still have the same name, because you know, as startups, you usually change all the time. So you should come and present yourself and your product.
Yes. So we were the first team, so we took the name Team Uno. And we started out with an Arduino Uno, but then we changed this, and here's my note. Like, a punch through light would be, and here's mounted as to show what it could be later. The problem is this. So in Copenhagen there is this thing called the green wave. So if you go from Albertslund into the city to Vesterbro, there are these LEDs in the bike path, and as long as you keep the same pace as the LEDs there, you will have a green light all the way into the city. But that's a very expensive solution, because then you would have to mount the LEDs in the ground. So this is our attempt of making a device that would take that. If you just take all the street lights and the sequencing of them, put them on the web, and then have your route calculation where you're going and the intelligence in your mobile phone. Then you can have a device like this that will show if you're keeping the right pace to hit the next green light. And this is we've been playing around with how we're gonna show like you're keeping the right pace. So this is what we came up with. Now you're on level with the green wave. So basically, keeping the right pace, you should have a green line there. And this is our way of representing you need to speed up. The green wave is in front of you, and you're yellow. Just to okay. and here we go over to like a red marker as like you really have to speed up now if we're gonna hit the green light. Over to you're going too fast. So you're in front of the green light. You're very much in front of the green light. And then of course also with the route calculation with the mobile phone, if you're going slow or fast enough, we will then have to recalculate it into going hitting another green wave, like the wave in front or the wave behind. Yes, and I should also say that I've associated with a Danish startup called Bikepopper that is doing the back-end stuff for this. So in a town not too far away, in a future not too far away, there will be something that looks much better than this, but with the same functionality. Yeah, and as I said, it's built on a punch-through light blue bead. Yeah, and this is just an Adafruit 8x8 bicolor matrix, and it's controlled with a phone. But Fredrik is not here with us; he's back there. But so it was us. So oh yeah, I forgot to say my name again. So I'm Eric.
Marcus.
And Fredrik. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what we've built and our presentation.
Great.
Cool.
Yes.
Thank you.
Can I request functionality? I want a social media attachment, and then I want to have the achievement wave crasher. I can do more than 7 waves in the morning or something like that. If I go fast.
Okay. Yeah. If you explain how we fit it into the 8x8 matrix.
No, I mean I want to get the achievement. I want a profile or whatever that shows I'm a wave crasher because I always cycle way too fast for all the waves. So I know, maybe it can help me find the next wave if I'm like fast enough.
But yeah. No, that's what we will try to get you to, because you're supposed to catch it. Like so, the green wave in Copenhagen saves 12% of the commuting time for the people going there. So you're supposed to hit the green wave. You're not supposed to crash it.
I want to so fast hit the next one.
Yeah.
12 days in a row, hit the next one, you got the achievement.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, guys. And who's team number 2?
And one of the rules,
you
don't
guys?
listen for your early adopters, because they usually request crazy functionality.
Yeah, we were going to get you afterwards because we all have to.
Number 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, who was number 2?
Number 2 is
You want me to come? But I can do the
live
last,
sensors.
actually. I can do the last if you want. I can do the last if you want.
No?
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
Do you need to-
be able to.
There's too many cyclists to catch the wave because they're going faster. You can see the cyclists that's fun.
But then it's really good. I don't think it works.
Okay.
Yeah, leave it up. Yeah, thanks.
sensor is more an idea than a film project right now, or prototype either. Right now, what I tried was to get inspired and learn a lot. And live sensor, my name is Ever, by the way. Live sensor will be a product that will help you to monitorize your loving people, your mother, your sister, your daughter, or your son, that will be around, could be, not necessarily will be around. What I did during the time that I was here was more learn about sensors, about which one I will use. But it's a wearable that will help people to care about how they monitorize them. So that's what we'll do. We'll keep the temperature, and you can watch over for internet. And then it will also the pulse. This is what was more trouble for me because I'm learning also. So you don't need to wake up the person, or you don't need to, you know, if someone is sleeping or need it, you don't need to. So that's what I was learning, to search what will be the best sensor to do, and then infrared sensor looks like that will be my next step to continue on that. This is what I learned. So far, what I was able to, with the help of a little bit of friends, not just, I was able to monitorize a little bit the temperature, and if I see here, time. So it's far away to be a final prototype, or that's what I said will be more of an idea, and I was very lost in the beginning. So I learned a lot, and that's what I think I will take in future, is how to design a better sensor for that. So you see how it's using the temperature sensor that comes with Arduino, and using Arduino Uno, and then I will add the infrared later. That's it. It's no more than that.
Thank you, Heather, for sharing.
I mean, it doesn't do anything.
And I'm now team number 3.
Yeah. Can I use the?
Yes, of course.
Oh, okay. Actually, I just put it on. No.
No, it shouldn't be on. It shouldn't be on. Yeah, one of those.
You guys ready? All right, guys. I'll get started with a little storytelling while they keep tinkering with this thing. So we're team number 3. We went with a product we call the Reverb hoodie, and we call our company 6 Cents if it turns into a company, and I'll tell you why. First of all, we started off with a really good team. I think that was quite nice. Instantly, we kind of fought over who would work with Sonia because she had such an amazing idea, and she came really prepared. She had like nice drawings and a good idea of what she wanted to do, and it matched with her thesis and all this kind of stuff. So off the bat, we were off to a good start. Things felt good. Our desks were very clean. We had a lot of equipment in boxes, which I was very pleased with since I showed up with a pair of scissors and some duct tape. So that was nice. Yeah, right away we got started using these tools and testing things out, seeing like conductivity on the hoodie and the materials. We had an early idea to use this guy here, the lily pad, which we got a little help from one of our friends here. was great. We had a problem early on, which was how to play sound through the regular Arduino without having this MP3 support and a headphone jack. So that problem was solved very quickly. Yeah, but things didn't work out so well with that guy, and we had a little bit of problems. So we went back to the regular, to the drawing board, so to say. And we had a lot of things going on. As you can see, the desk is quite full. We had this heart rate sensor, or heartbeat sensor, that you can use with light on your wrist. And at first it was promising, but it was starting to give us some strange values. It was jumping around from 60 to 140. I wasn't sure if you were alive or dead from one minute to the next, so it was a little bit interesting to work with that. Then we started doing some field testing. As we said, we had some help from our friends back here. He had a shirt on that said, "Let me show you a few things," and we thought, sure, let's let him show us a few things. One of the things we had him help out with was his natural height ability and gauging the, getting some electromagnetic frequency readings from the lights. So, yeah, then we started getting down to business because we wanted to make a prototype, get it built as quickly as possible so we could start testing. So we did an initial test before we built, and then we started building after there was some positive feedback. We knitted this enamel wire through the arms of the jacket here, and that was help from 10 upstairs. Really nice material that you can use to bring things together. Inside on the left wrist, we have the heart rate monitor, so that's going to keep track of her pulse. Kind of midway through, we decided we should do a little bit of design just in case demos don't work out as they do. We have some kind of extra to flash to it. So we got the laser cutting done. This was about 3 in the morning, I think. We felt pretty confident. We had this nice triple stack going on here. And yeah, we thought everything was all good. But then, of course, further testing revealed more problems. So I fell asleep somewhere around 4, and I think Nazir, magically, I woke up 2 hours later and he had something new back on the original Arduino. So yeah, some magic happened there. Nazir still hasn't slept, so. But the result after all of this is, yeah, this is what we have. So this is the Reverb hoodie, and I'll give you a little bit of an idea how it works and kind of a tour a little bit further. Oh, nice, we got the lights working.
Yeah, are they? Yeah.
So the Reverb hoodie is, like you can see, it's a combination of lights and sound. The sound is still under construction, so bear with us for another couple 24-hour periods, I guess.
The sound is supposed to be integrated in the hood, so it switches on when you put them off. When you put the hood off, there's magnets in the back which act as a switch. So when they're not connected, the sound's supposed to turn on in the inside of the hood. Yeah, as soon as we get the sound running from the Arduino stack in the back, which are
Do you like this? Nice.
currently this board is connected to the pulse sensor that Mike already told you about, and an antenna which runs through this whole sleeve, which reads the values for the electromagnetic field sensor, which are then, which are supposed to be mapped into light feedback into the L wire. So you can see one of them working here, which is for the pulse, and this one's supposed to map the antenna readings. And it did that half an hour ago. This one didn't do half an hour ago, now it does.
So we got a lot of things working in the beginning, and I think it was interesting to see how things change as you go along and how things don't always kind of work together as you seem. But the overall ambition is there, and I think we had some, like we said, from the beginning we had some positive readings, and what we hope in the future with better sensors and better connections, a little bit more time, maybe 48 hours, we can do something a little more secure. But yeah, the goal is to kind of help measure things that you can't normally see. So something that Bill Murray and the Ghostbusters probably do a lot. And kind of give you an idea of what's in your environment that you can't see. Something that we call it more than a feeling, I guess. Some commercial applications for this, I guess you could, we thought about researchers who are researching electromagnetic frequencies and these kind of environments, as well as mapping your home environment or office environments for business. You could see, how good is your Wi-Fi environment if you're having problems with connectivity or whatever. There's a lot of companies already in the space, of course, but this could just be an extra thing on top of that from a business point. And from a fun point, it could just be a cool thing to wear and yeah, show off to your friends how stressed you are and how hectic your Wi-Fi environment is. Yeah.
All right.
That's it.
Thank you.
No problem.
Team number 4. Who is it? Great.
Team number 4, Wild GPS.
That was good. You turn it on.
Oh, we did.
Are they going to present on the
We need
Are you using the projector?
yeah. Cool. Cool. Welcome.
I'm just thinking about when I
All right. Go for it. Welcome.
Our idea is to have a GPS that's connected to the Arduino, sending GPS coordinates and then furthering those coordinates through Wi-Fi to a, for example, a mobile phone or a computer or anything, just so that you can keep track on the location of the Arduino. Yeah, and the functions are
that there is some we've thought about it using with child in kids on kindergartens because they have a tendency to run off or explore, as I would say. So the child has a little secret compartment up by the breast up here. So it has a Wi-Fi connection to a computer or a telephone, cell phone, mostly a smartphone. So you can see how far away the child is going. Let's say it has a range of 100 meters. So if the child goes without 100 meters, with further away than 100 meters, it will signal that the child has gone away from that exact location. That will show on a map with longitude and latitude. So then you'll go find the child that might be hiding behind that tree or anything in that way.
so. Between arriving yesterday and now, we have, as expected, had a lot of technical difficulties. But we have been given an astonishing amount of help from the support team over there. And we are very grateful for that. Yeah.
So under the time, like this times that we've had, we have done a lot of IT and programming that we use in our everyday technology. And like how much my phone is actually used. If I would see how much my phone actually is working for me, if it takes a pretty long while to put something together, like my phone and what we are trying to make is a big difference between these two. So it's actually a very hard task, and yeah, what we are learning is actually a good start.
And to say, after all the help we had yesterday, we have actually had we have actually been able to do some things by ourselves today. Just this morning we were able to set up the GPS that took a lot of time yesterday in about 20 minutes from nothing. Yeah, I was surprised.
Was struggling very much.
Yeah.
quite understand at first.
No, to make it all work together is still quite far beyond us. So, but yeah.
We're happy to been here and learned how much we have.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I have one more team, right?
Yeah. MFJAB. Oh.
All right.
No?
Welcome.
Thank you.
Oh.
My name is Jacob, and this is
Fredrik.
and
I am Max.
yes. And we are called JFB. MFJAB. And I'm also myself having a slight allergic reaction, so let's keep this quick and snappy. So, in industry, information is key. I mean, you need to have a lot of information in order to run a business, either if it is if you have a competitor or if you are producing too much or too little. And today, do you remember those old punch clocks that people used to have in factories? Long lines of people going in and punching in, now I am at work, now I am not. Well, we still have those. They are just computers, yes, so you have a code and you can do a lot more with them, but you still have a line of people in most places going in and putting in a number saying, I am now going on a break or I'm lunch or something like that. And that wastes time. I mean, every second someone is in that line, they are paid. And I'm not saying that's bad, but if we could slim that down, then that is a lot of saved money. So, our product is to integrate a computer into the workflows so you can have a simplified way of saying, for example, I'm going on a break, or I'm anything, I'm going on a break, I'm having lunch, or now I'm going to the toilet, anything. So, what we have made here is a prototype. Well, it's simple and we probably won't use this circuit in the finalized product, but it's a proof of concept. So, if I then have this thing, and you can push a button, then it now shows that I am, we pushed it 2 times. So those things happen. It's a prototype. So, when we push a button, then it will log that we will push the button in the computer and put a message in there. So we could, for example, writing that Isaac is now at work and he punched in at 11 o'clock, and then he can see on the clothes where he pushed the button that he's now in at work, and the computer system have logged it. Then if he pushes it again, then he will go on a break, or he will finish for the day, depending on that. You could add more or less, depending on what the company wants to have. Also, once you have this functionality of having a computer inside the workflows, then you can simply add more functionalities to it. Like, for example, if you have a large factory with a lot of hazards, maybe you want to have a simplified alarm system so that every worker has a small speaker on them, so that an administrator could, by a simple key tap on the main computer, send out a signal crossing every small little speaker to send out a message, like, for example, there's a fire in sector 11, or now our employee 567 it's his birthday, whatever. I mean, you could do almost anything with it. So, our plan to finalizing this product is then to spend 2 or 3 months perfecting the program and choosing the right circuitry. And of course, I mean, there's a lot of testing. I mean, if you're in an industry, then you want to have something that works and doesn't break instantly. I mean, it's a hard environment. Then we go out and test it on a smaller scale production facility, like a small factory, like let's say 20 to 50 workers. And then once you have that, and you have all the information showing this works, this brings up profits by this margin. I mean, if it only brings in 1% by 5 years, that will be a lot, and it pays off investments. So our plan is to then, by let's say in 3 years, be able to sell large scale, sell to large companies, like let's say 10,000 or 20,000 units, and that can make a great profit.
Oh, all right.
That's our product.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Yeah, questions? No? Thanks.
Yes.
Now is the final team.
The final team.
Yeah?
That isn't a team.
Well, we don't. Yeah.
Do you have any names for team?
Yes. If you stay out of the way.
Okay.
Exactly. Okay, I'll start while my minion starts up the computer. You know how it is. You go to a hackathon, sit down to study, or you drive a car, and you get more and more tired for each minute. And you're not really sure when you're in that, you know, the spot where the code starts coming together and floating around, and the computer just turns off because you fell asleep on the on button. You know how it is. So, what do? Well, you can, of course, drink a lot of Red Bull. You can take drugs, but neither of those are really recommended. So we will present to you an alternative solution. You put on your stylish bracelet. This is, of course, useful even if you're going through town. You plug it in. You plug it in. Like this, which gives you a full 1.5 meter of walking space. You take your heart rate monitor, you put it in your fingers, which gives you no less than 3 fingers left to do work with. And what it does is that it starts by calibrating, and we are restarting. Or no, are there any reason for it? Yes. Oh, switch to USB ports. Ah, good. Then you wait some time for your minion to set your own bracelet up. And you can see, first of all, we always check the heart rate, and at the moment it's under 50, which could be that I'm pressing this thing too hard.
Or that you dead.
Or that I'm dead. Yeah, that could be the case. I would say that it has a lower probability right now. And if I was, oh, there we go. So we're calibrating my heart rate. So we're sitting, coding, and things are swimming a little bit. And we are in the detection state. And when the heart rate drops, we assume a little bit that, oh, we are sleeping. So it turns on the vibrator, waking me up, allowing me to snooze. And if you just press the button for the snooze button, it will try and wake you up again until you press it along the way. There it says wakey wakey, and it vibrates. It's of course difficult to hear at the distance. So if you hold it in, then you reset it. And of course, this is as opposed to all the other teams, this is the final product. We want to make a version 2. We call it the future version, or Star Trek version, or it's out like 2055, 2056, where it will be a smaller bracelet, of course, with all these integrated, maybe a battery, maybe a longer cable. It depends on how many developers we can have. If it's only about 100 developers, maybe we'll keep the cable. I'm not sure.
But still with the hard monitor.
Still with the hard monitor, of course, yes. You can. I don't see how else you could do it. I mean, can anyone see any other product where you don't have to hold your hard monitor? No, that's right. You don't. So that's it. Our product is called Wakey Wakey P. I didn't say that at the beginning. So, are there any questions?
Why P?
Why not? Any other questions? Any good questions?
Just a suggestion. Don't tell to them, then all the teenager will be disturbed that wake up, wake up, wake up.
Yeah, well, so yeah, I'll take that as a good suggestion.
That's why it's vibrating all the time now. Because he's old.
Oh yeah, of course. If you let go of it, it also wakes you up.
I think that there is some more use for it. I met a driver once who fell asleep by driving, and he almost killed me. So perhaps that he could use it.
Yes, of course.
Nowadays you can put your laptop on the seat next to you, there's a second seat.
So,
most cars aren't that big that the laptop
Oh,
is
you
too
mean
far
that
away.
the laptop will do the driving?
Yes, you can watch a movie at the same
you
time.
but you know the laptops have the sleep mode.
And there's an app for that called Caffeine. Then in no sleep mode. It's perfect.
Okay.
And also, I mean, Jirka, my primary minion, of course, brings up a very, very valid point. If you have a bigger car, like a Volvo, then you can actually bring your stationary computer.
And we're thinking of adding on maybe an extension USB cable for $100 as an add-on sales. There's a really good business value.
I think, moving beyond 1 meter it's not that common that people do it.
Well, the true hacker will be using PDP-11, perhaps.
PDP-11?
Yes. It's a big computer, like a telephone booth.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's the real
if
one.
If you're a truck driver,
we're thinking maybe if you're a truck driver, then yes, perfect. Yeah.
Good.
All right, thank you so much.
Now we will take a break for like 20 minutes, 10 minutes, and secret judges will go to other room and talk about what idea was good. So let's see you around in 10 minutes here.
Yeah.
There's coffee and tea and water.
And I put some candy. I don't know if there's any left. Okay,
Let's go.
we can go in the other room. So.